The cemetery stretched out before me like a haunted kingdom shrouded in darkness, tombstones looming like silent sentinels in the moonlit night. My footsteps echoed faintly against the weathered cobblestones as I ventured further into the heart of this eerie domain. A chill danced down my spine, amplified by the haunting silence broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves and the distant hoot of an owl. I found myself amidst the graves, each one a testament to lives long past. The air was thick with a musty scent, a blend of damp earth and ancient memories. As I walked, my mind drifted to the reason why I found myself here. The memory of my dear departed grandmother, whose final resting place I sought, weighed heavily on my heart. She had been my guiding light, a beacon of warmth in my life, and I felt an inexplicable pull to visit her grave tonight. I navigated the labyrinth of tombstones, feeling a sense of unease intensify with every step. Shadows danced around me, playing tricks on my mind, making the graves seem to shift and the trees to whisper secrets. A sudden gust of wind made me shiver involuntarily, and I quickened my pace, longing to find solace at my grandmother's tomb. But as I turned a corner, my heart plummeted. The graveyard seemed unfamiliar, the tombstones foreign and alien in their arrangement. Panic clawed its way up my throat as I realized I was lost in this maze of death. Fear gripped me, and I attempted to retrace my steps, but every direction led to a new cluster of graves, each more foreboding than the last. With each passing moment, the atmosphere grew more oppressive, the night seemingly closing in around me. I could almost feel unseen eyes watching my every move, a sensation that sent shivers down my spine. Then a sound pierced the silence, a low guttural moan that seemed to emanate from the very ground beneath my feet. My heart raced as I scanned the darkness, searching for the source of the haunting sound, but there was nothing to be seen. In a desperate attempt to escape this macabre labyrinth, I sprinted blindly, my pulse pounding in my ears. A sudden stumble sent me sprawling to the ground, and as I struggled to rise, my hand brushed against something cold and solid, the cold stone of a tomb. I looked up, my breath catching in my throat. Before me stood my grandmother's grave, bathed in an otherworldly glow from the moon above. Relief flooded through me, but it was short-lived as I realized the inscription on the tombstone was not my grandmother's name, but my own. A wave of terror washed over me as I comprehended the chilling truth. I had stumbled into my own grave, a fate inexplicably intertwined with this sinister place. Panic seized me, and I clawed at the earth, desperate to break free from this nightmarish fate. But the ground seemed to hold me in its grasp, refusing to release its hold. The night air in the cemetery was thick with anticipation as my friend and I ventured forth, armed with cameras and a fervent desire to capture evidence of the supernatural. We were enthusiasts, drawn by the allure of the unknown, seeking to uncover the mysteries whispered to linger within these hallowed grounds. The moon cast an eerie glow upon the tombstones, painting shadows that seemed to dance in anticipation of our ghostly quest. My friend, with her infectious enthusiasm, joked to ease our nerves as we tread among the graves, our equipment poised to document any inexplicable occurrence. Yet, amidst our laughter and bravado, a chill settled upon my spine, a primal instinct warning me of the unknown perils that lay ahead. As we navigated the labyrinth of headstones, our cameras poised to capture any flicker of the supernatural, an inexplicable unease settled upon us. Shadows seemed to linger a moment too long, and the silence held an almost tangible weight. Despite our fervent attempts to provoke a response from the otherworldly, the cemetery remained eerily still, devoid of the spectral manifestations we sought. Hours passed, our enthusiasm waning with each fruitless attempt to conjure the supernatural. Frustration tinged our voices as we contemplated calling it a night, our eagerness to witness the unexplained dampened by the cemetery's resolute silence. But just as we resigned ourselves to failure, a faint whisper carried on the breeze, chilling us to the core. "Help me." The words were barely audible, hauntingly soft yet undeniably present. My friend's eyes widened, mirroring my own disbelief. We exchanged a glance, a silent agreement passing between us to investigate this unexpected plea for help. We followed the voice, our footsteps hesitant yet resolute. It led us deeper into the heart of the cemetery, where shadows congregated like silent spectators to an unseen spectacle. The air grew thick with an oppressive energy, a palpable tension that made my skin prickle with unease. And then, just ahead, a figure emerged from the darkness. A woman, her spectral form illuminated by the moon's ethereal light. Her visage bore an otherworldly pallor, her eyes haunted by a sorrow that transcended the realms of the living. She beckoned to us with spectral hands, her voice a mere whisper in the night. "Help me find peace." A shiver ran down my spine as I realized the gravity of the situation. This was no mere spectral encounter. This was a restless soul seeking solace in the living world. But before we could respond, a sudden gust of wind extinguished our camera's lights, plunging us into darkness. When the lights flickered back to life, the apparition was gone, leaving behind an eerie silence. My friend and I exchanged stunned glances, grappling with the inexplicable encounter. Though we found no tangible evidence of the supernatural that night, the spectral plea for peace lingered in our minds, a reminder that sometimes the most haunting entities in a cemetery aren't the ghosts themselves, but the unresolved spirits seeking release from their earthly bonds. The cemetery in Wisconsin felt like a forgotten piece of history, nestled amidst the rolling hills and whispering pines. I found myself there, drawn by a peculiar fascination with the tales of those who laid to rest beneath the weathered gravestones. The air carried the bite of autumn, hinting at the impending winter as leaves rustled in a haunting symphony. My footsteps echoed against the worn paths, a melody accompanied by the distant hoots of owls and the occasional rustle of small creatures in the underbrush. The moon cast an ethereal glow upon the tombstones, illuminating names and dates that spoke of lives lived and past. As I wandered, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, a sensation that prickled the hairs on my neck and made my heart quicken its pace. The cemetery's history fascinated me. Tales of settlers, war heroes, and ordinary folk whose stories whispered through the cracks of time. Yet with every step deeper into this resting place of the departed, an inexplicable weight settled upon me. The silence of the night seemed to amplify the stories etched into the gravestones, weaving an atmospheric tapestry that both intrigued and unsettled me. Lost in contemplation, I ventured further, the chilly breeze stirring the fallen leaves around my feet. An unexpected movement caught my eye, a figure hunched over a grave, its silhouette etched against the moonlit backdrop. Curiosity mingled with a touch of apprehension as I approached, intending to offer assistance or at least a friendly word. But as I drew closer, an icy finger traced a line down my spine. The figure, bathed in the ethereal light, seemed otherworldly, its features obscured by the darkness. "Hello," I called out, my voice quivering despite my attempts at composure. The figure turned slowly, revealing a weathered face adorned with deep lines etched by time and sorrow. A sense of familiarity washed over me as the stranger's gaze met mine, eyes filled with an unfathomable sadness. "Lost someone too?" The stranger's voice carried a weight of melancholy, a resonance that echoed through the night. I nodded, struck by the shared understanding that transcended words. The stranger gestured toward a particularly weathered gravestone, his gesture laden with a sorrowful longing. "She was my wife," he murmured, his voice cracking with emotion. "Taken too soon." Sympathy swelled within me as I listened to his tale, a story of love and loss that echoed with the bittersweet melody of life's fleeting moments. In that moment, the cemetery transformed from a mere resting place to a tapestry of memories, each gravestone a testament to cherished lives and the ache of their absence. As the night wore on, the stranger and I shared stories of love, of heartache, of the unyielding passage of time. And in that unlikely encounter amidst the silent graves of Wisconsin, I discovered that the true haunting of a cemetery lies not in the supernatural, but in the poignant echoes of human experiences woven into the fabric of time.